I'd like to present Maria Cecilia Tacci. She's medical, she's an intern, she's a hematologist from the College of Malaga, College of Malaga. I'm saying Spanish and English here, she's registered, but Maria Cecilia Tacci is a little bit different. She's on our group, the Citizens Advisory Bureau, and there she tells you how to go about things and how to get around things and how to get the best from your health system. So, welcome Maria.
Good night. So, do you hear me? Yes, I usually speak too loud. So, I am going to try and tell you in 15 minutes, it will be hard, how to get around the NHS. This time I have left out the part about getting into, because that could be an hour in itself. So, as you know, if you have problems getting into the NHS, I answer the questions in the group and you can just ask me directly, or we have the guide that I have written. Now, I will assume that you are all inside the Spanish NHS. The Spanish national healthcare system is great. The problem is that it's too small, like the judiciary, it's too small for the hundreds, thousands of people that it has to attend to. So we have scarce resources, and that is not going to change in the immediate period of time. So what can you do to change your experience or to change your healthcare inside the NHS? And you will say, well, I cannot do anything. The system is what it is, and that's, well, no. There is a new concept, especially in America, that is called the empowered patient. And this means that the doctor shouldn't have all the power, because it is, after all, it is your body, and you know it perfectly well. You know when something is not right, and you have the experience of being inside your body your whole life. So going to a consultation and giving a prescription to you and you leaving in 5 minutes, that is not good medicine. The power should be in the middle. You provide the experience from your body, the doctor provides the clinical experience and the knowledge, and you meet in the middle and share a decision. And there are some things that you can do, and I'm going to tell you now, that you can do to get to that middle. Basically, there are 3 things. First, you have to know your rights, as Myra always says. You have to know your rights. There are many rights that you have that you don't know. For example, and this is a very common one, that you have free choice of GP, and you don't have to go to the one that is in the healthcare center that belongs to your address. You can go to any GP in the sanitary district. So if you live in Estepona and you have a friend that has a great GP in San Pedro de Alcántara, well, you can go there. But many people don't know that. Who knew that? So, know your rights, because you have more rights than you think you do. And you are going to tell me, well, where can I get this information? Well, the SAS, the Servicio Andaluz de Salud, has a great website. You can just go to it. You can use Google Translate, and you can know your basic rights there. Then, if you have more special queries, for example, I have been admitted and I want a copy of my whole admittance, I want all of the papers, Can I do that? Well, you can ring Salud Responde. They usually have somebody that speaks English, and you can ask. And they will tell you, because they are great, they solve a lot of problems, and they will tell you what the correct answer to that special query. So the first step is know your rights. You have to know your rights. The second step, you need, and you're going to think I am mad, you need to know your conditions. And you're just going to say, what? I need to know, I need to study medicine, it's so difficult. Well, when I go to the mechanic, I don't study mechanics. Well, but this is a little bit more important than a car. So if you are diabetic, you need to know diabetes. You need to know how it's treated nowadays. You need to know what follow-ups you should have. You need to know the results you should be getting in your blood work. You need to know things. And today is so easy that really there is no excuse in not doing that. The UK has a great website that is Patient for UK, so it couldn't be easier, that has, I think, everything. They have information about millions of diseases catered for patients. So it's not in what we call medicalese or technical jargon, that is just a special kind of language that we doctors use when we don't want anybody else to understand. It works really good. It works. But there you have lots of information. So you need to know your disease. And as my mother used to tell me, she's a teacher, you will go to a consultation as you go to a class. If you go to a class and you have no idea whatsoever, you only know the title, but you have no idea whatsoever of what it's going to be about, you will get much less out of it than if you have a lot of ideas. And if you know a lot, you will leave that consultation in a much better place. So that is the second point. You need to know your diseases. Diabetes, hypertension, whatever is this, you need to know it. The third, and now you are really to think I have lost all of my marbles, but I haven't, not yet, because you need to become an intermediate of an advertising and a marketing person, because the resources are scarce. So you need to convince the consultant that you are the one that should get those resources, me. And how do you do that? You have to learn to communicate in the right way what is happening to you. Because 90% of the diagnosis is not done by procedures. It's not done by flashy new machines. It's done by the taking of the medical history, the patient talking, the doctor listening. That is 90% of the diagnosis. If that part goes wrong, it usually leads to wrong diagnosis. So you need, and you all know that GPs, for example, have 5 minutes. Well, here's a trick. If you have the same GP that your husband has, you take 2 appointments, and suddenly you have 10 minutes. And the doctor is going to be very happy because instead of 2 patients, he has 1 less. It might seem silly, but it works. So, before you go to the appointment, you need to know that you never, ever, ever go to the last appointment of the day. You just don't do that. No. The doctor is going to have a list like this, you know, and Spanish people can tell me, we're Spanish people and my mother is Spanish, so we like to talk. So the doctor's head is going to be like this, with all the talking, and the last appointment is useless. So, useless, yes. People laugh when I say that, but I don't know why. But it's useless. Up to the fifth, it's okay. Fifth, five, six patients, it's okay. After that, forget about it. No. So you need to, first you don't have the last appointment, then perhaps you book 2, and now you need to sit down and you need to think, okay, what is my goal? What do I want to get out of this? Do I want, for example, a referral to a specialist? Or if I'm going to a specialist, to a consultant, do I think I need a special procedure? Do I think I need a video colonoscopy or an MRI? What is my goal? What do I want to get out of that consultation? And then you need to write down your story. What has happened to you and what is happening to you. In medicine it's called past medical history and present medical history and present complaint. What is happening to you now? Once you write all of that, you summarize it and you factualize it and you keep it under 1 minute. Why? Because we doctors have 0 attention span. 1 minute and you lost us. They also laugh. 1 minute and you lost us. It is true. For example, what you could do is past medical history, just words. Surgery 99, gallbladder, surgery, hip replacement. So you have just words. And with your present medical history, you need to factualize it and you need to keep it really simple and to keep the facts, and you need to think. Because when you are writing, you remember things that perhaps you didn't think about it, or you don't if you go without practicing. And if you don't speak good Spanish and you don't have a translator, or there is no translator present, what you can do is what you factualized, and now it would be brief, it should be brief, you can Google translate that, and with your broken Spanish and that, it will go miles from what could have been a disaster of a consultation. And another thing, your first phrases when you walk through the door are in Spanish. You say, buenos días, and you say, disculpe, no hablo mucho español. And even if it's not true, you said you are learning. I told you to lie, but then, yes. You say, but they should be in Spanish, because, and I walked in the emergency room and I was very shocked when people opened the door and started speaking in English. So your first sentences are in Spanish, and you just repeat them in your house as many times as you need, but you go and you say, buenos días, disculpe, no hablo mucho inglés, estoy tratando de aprender, pero es muy difícil. It is very hard. And with that, and a smile, and a factualized consultation, you will have a 180 difference that could have been a disaster of a consultation. If you do those 3 things that I have told you, you can really thrive in the healthcare system. You can really thrive in your relationship with the doctors. The bureaucracy, sadly, is a different story, because you need to know your rights, but sometimes bureaucracy is much more difficult to tackle than doctors. If you have that problem, you have our group, and we will tell you what to do. But in doctors' terms, if you do those 3 things, you should have a much better experience, and you should really have better medicine for you. And finish, because I know I'm getting over my time. I want to tell 2 things. 2 things that are new. First of all, there is new what is called a convenio especial para asistencia sanitaria. That means that people that have been residents for 1 year and are empadronados now can buy into the social security. And this is very important for people that have pre-existing conditions, because if you have diabetes and you go to Sanitas, yes, they will insure you, but they will not cover the diabetes. So what do you do? And up to last year, you didn't have any other chance if you couldn't get into the NHS. Well, now you can buy your way into the NHS. It's 60 euros per person per month if you are under 65, or 157, don't ask me what that strange figure, 157 if you are over 65 per person per month, and that doesn't go up as the private insurance does, because once you are over 65 and you have private medical insurance, it will go up every year. Every year it will go up. Well, now this is a flat rate. The only thing that you don't get is discount in the medications. And the second thing I wanted you to know, because this is very important for people that do not have a support network here, is that there is a new thing called the EU Directive on Cross-Border Healthcare. They love long names, the EU, where you can go to another EU country and have a procedure done. So suppose you need to have your hip replaced, and you have no support here, you have no family, you have who's going to cook for you for 1 month? Who's going to shop for you? Who's going to take care for you? And if you have family in the UK, in Germany, or whatever, well, you can go there. And they have told me in the Mijas Extranjería department that they have done 4 or 5, so it's regulated. So if they have done it, it can be done. So you can go to your mother country, let's call it, to have a procedure done. And that is very important, because we used to have older people that needed a hip replacement, but they think, what am I going to do afterwards? Well, if you have family in another country, you can go there and have the procedure done there. And I think with this, Rachel is going to kill me if not. And of course, any question you may have, you can come to me afterwards. But remember, the system is not going to change, but you can and you should.